So I start off day one practice in a small creek near the boat ramp. It's got some shallow stain water and some wood cover. I start off with a swim jig and immediately hook one that gets off. Looked to be about 2 pounds or so. Wasn't real big, but fished up in there a pretty good piece, and didn't get any more bites. There's a lot of wood cover up in there. I figured there'd be some bass up in there early, and there was some current up in there also, but I only got the one bite up in there. So after I fished a small piece up in the back, I decided to make a change, and the sun was coming out and it was getting hot. I was going to see if I could go find something deep. After leaving the shallow creek, guys, I traveled probably about 1.5 miles to where a channel swings up next to the bank, drops straight off into about 20 foot of water, and there's a ton of docks right on the edge of the creek channel. So I wanted to fish them with a Texas rig worm and see if there's any fish on them. And turns out that was it turned out to be a pretty good pattern for the day. After the sun got up, caught quite a few fish fishing these docks. Most of them were floating docks, but the fish seemed to be suspended up under them. And here's some of the action from that. Although these fish are not giants or anything, they was flat out eating the gambler worm in June bug color. I probably fished 15 or 20 docks that was right on the creek channel, and that creek channel ran probably 1.5 miles, and there was probably at least 50 more docks right on the edge of the creek channel. So after I fished about 15 docks and caught those fish, I turned around and headed back to try something else. I was sure this pattern would probably be there Saturday for the tournament, and was pretty confident that I could catch a good limit. If I fished enough docks, my thinking was that I would eventually catch some bigger fish, and so I was pretty confident on the pattern. So I abandoned that and headed back toward the ramp. There was a flat that I was wanting to fish. That I caught some fish on a previous trip the week before. Just a flat on the edge of a creek channel. Had some isolated cover on it, and I just wanted to see if those fish were there. So I headed back to fish that. The deal with this flat, guys, these fish were up here chasing bait And the week before, I caught a pretty good many of them. They was chasing bait fish up here, and I knew with this deal it would be a timing thing. Channel was about 7 foot of water, and the flat was about 3 foot, and it had some cover on the edge of it, and they was running them bait fish up next to that cover, and it would just be a timing thing, and they were chasing bait fish, so I managed to catch 2 or 3 fish, and I left this area also. This is day 2 practice. After having a pretty good day 1 of practice, I was feeling confident about that pattern. So for day 2, I wanted to try something totally different. So I wanted to head up into a creek that was near the boat ramp. Doing my research, I noticed there was a lot of wood up inside the creek, and I wanted to see if there's some bigger fish up in there. Around that wood and grass, so that's what I did. I headed up into the creek and tried to locate some bigger fish. Started off with a white swim jig, and on the very first throw, I hook into one. It's probably 2-pounder, not too big, but that's a good sign. I was pretty excited about that. Some say hooking one on your first cast is a curse, but I don't buy it. After fishing about a mile up in the creek, guys, I pick up a buzzbait and finally get a blow up. I did miss the fish, but I'm not sure how big he was. Pretty good blow up. I immediately picked up a swim jig and threw back in there to see if I could get him to hit the follow up bait, but he wouldn't touch it. Just a couple of minutes later, guys, on the buzzbait, I get one to blow up on it, and I did hook him. It was a small fish, maybe 12, 13 incher. I did get him to the boat. Here's another fish on the buzzbait, guys, just running along the side of a down log. I put him on the measuring board. He measured 14 inches. Just a few minutes later, another small 12-inch fish on a buzz bait. This was the last fish I caught up in the creek, guys. Caught it on a rage bug in the moon juice color. After this fish, I decided to head on back to the boat ramp. Although I caught some fish up in here, they just wasn't of any size, and I just figured my better option for tournament day would be to fish the docks and the flat. I'd have more chances to catch more fish and maybe a little better fish out on the open water. So although I love fishing creeks like this, it just didn't pan out for me. So I had my game plan set for tournament day and what I was going to do, and yeah, that was it. Tournament day, guys. I start off on the flat, throwing a topwater through a swim jig and a spinnerbait, and I couldn't get them to hit it. I knew those fish were there. I could see them chasing bait fish, so I picked up a shaky head and they started hammering it. Probably caught 5 or 10 right off the bat. About half of them wouldn't measure, but I was able to catch 5 small keepers. They was all between 12 and 13 inches. Very small, but I was able to catch a quick limit, and my thinking was, after I got that limit, I was going to fish them deep piers and see if I could upgrade my length. But they was hitting the shaky head pretty good. Won't measure, guys. After catching them on the shaky head, guys, I picked up a square bill, started throwing it right in the middle of the cover, pulling it through that cover, and I hook a better fish. This turns out to be my biggest one. It was right at 17 inches. This is why you always put your net in front of your board. This fish tried to get away, but he landed right in the net. So I always try to keep my net right there, just in case that happens. Throw the square bill in the cover again, guys, and hook one. And he actually gets me hung up on the limb. And he's just hanging there, so I have to go get him. I was lucky to land this fish. He was 14 inches. Alright guys, another update. It's 9 o'clock. I've caught a pretty good amount of fish. A lot of them's 12 to 13 inches. I did catch one 17 and another 13. The rest of them's 12 and a half, 12.75. So I'm gonna head over to these docks. I caught a little better fish in practice Friday. I'm gonna see if I can upgrade my other ones and see what happens. I got about 5 hours left, and hopefully I can upgrade 3 or 4 fish and have a decent limit. So I'm headed over there now. I got about a half a mile to go, and I'm gonna start fishing when I get there. We'll see you over there. So guys, I pull up on the first pier, first cast. One hits as soon as it hits the water on the June bug gambler worm, and I was really feeling good at that point. There was some current flowing past these piers. There wasn't when I caught all of them in practice Thursday. There was no current. There was current flowing this on tournament day, and I really thought I was going to catch some bigger fish, but I fished about 20 or 25 piers and I didn't get another bite. That just goes to show you how pattern can change from day to day. I mean, I wrecked them on practice day, and probably had 30 more piers that I didn't fish that was the same, that I was really hoping to catch some big fish, but I didn't even get another bite. So I decided to return to the flat where I started to finish out the day, and was just hoping I could catch some bigger fish, thinking that maybe some bigger fish would move up chasing the bait fish. So I head back over there. Guys, I get back on the flat and I pick up the Britside 5 square bill crankbait and bluegill pattern, and I'm throwing it in the heavy cover, and I hook a pretty good one. He ended up being 16.75 inches, so that was a pretty good upgrade. Guys, I started changing baits up. I was still throwing square bills, but I started changing colors and a few different types.
He ain't gonna help me, guys.
pick up this little one. He's not gonna help me, so I just throw him back, and then I ended up catching one more upgrade, a 16.75 on a white KVD, white in color, and swapped up several different colors to a chartreuse and then a red, and picked up 4 or 5 more fish that was probably 12-13 inches. They didn't help me, but that's how I ended the day right there with that 16.75. I really had a pretty good day, guys. I caught a ton of fish. I guess that's all you can ask for. I just couldn't find the bigger fish that I needed to get me on up in the top 10. I ended up with a 15th place finish out of 82 anglers, but that's all you can ask for. I appreciate y'all watching, guys. Hit the like and subscribe button, and hit that notification bell to be notified of my future videos, and we'll catch you next time.